Welcome back, Shalligators. Today, we're here to break down the drama, very out of nowhere drama, between Rihanna, ASAP, Drake, Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez, frick, frack, tweedledee, tweedledum, Joe Biden's probably in there somewhere. Who even knows? We're going to break down what's going on because the rumors are swirling that there's some sort of feud between Rihanna and Megan. Could it have to do with ASAP? Is it about Tory Lanez and the shooting incident? And look, we're also going to break down something I said on my Instagram, because obviously the worst case scenario here would be that ASAP cheated on pregnant Queen Rihanna with Megan. And I said on my Instagram, fun fact, the number one time a woman is cheated on is when she's pregnant. Yeah, a man is most likely to cheat on a pregnant woman. Oof. I'm going to break down why, the psychology of this, and actually why it's more relatable than we might think. But we're going to also talk about Megan and this Tory fiasco, because I want to give you guys a bit of a lecture and a pep talk on something we talk about here a lot: pigeons and eagles. We're gonna break it all down. But before we do, y'all, there's still some space left on our Mexico getaway to Isla Holbox Island. It's a little car-free, white sand beach, quaint, adorable island north of Cancun. It's being called the next Tulum. We're taking 20 Shalligators. I think we have 6 spaces left. The trip is totally gonna sell out. It is girls only. Don't worry, we're gonna be coming up with a co-ed trip, I think top of next year. It's the reason we do it, it's based on room occupancy, basically. Blech. Tomato, who cares? Anyway, come indulge in some sisterhood, some Shalligator workshops with me. I'm going to teach you guys everything from how to grow your social media following, if that's something that's important to you, how to take fabulous pictures. We're going to do workshops on manifestation and boundary setting, confidence. And, we're going to all talk before the trip and just talk about what other kind of stuff you guys want to know about. Also, don't forget to shop my Vault NYC jewelry collection. We've got the XO hoops, the revenge necklace. I think we even still have a few ruthless necklaces in stock. They make a fantastic gift or some adornment for your bad bitch self. So head down there and head down the link in the bio to join me in Mexico, August 19th through 23rd. It's going to be so much fun. Let's talk about Megan. Okay, where do we begin on this? Oh, Jesus. Okay, let's talk about what we know. So, apparently, it has come to light that recently, Rihanna, Drake, Kylie Jenner, Nicki Minaj, and Ciara, who cares about Ciara, have all unfollowed Megan Thee Stallion on Instagram, and Megan has also been removed as the Savage Fenty brand ambassador. So this whatever is going on here seems to be more than just... It seems to have veered into her professional life too, right? Because look, you really gotta be mad, especially since the invention of the mute button, right? Okay, so at first, the rumor was like, well, wait a minute, did ASAP sleep with Megan? Like, did they hook up and Rihanna's pregnant? We're gonna come back to that, because who knows? Like, that isn't disproven. That's not impossible. But what it seems to most likely be centering around is Megan's fiasco with Tory Lanez. I also need to talk about Tory Lanez because I had to Google how to pronounce his name. Because yes, I had pronounced it Lanez for a while, or if I was feeling cosmopolitan, Lane, which is French for the nose. And I thought, does he have a big nose? No, I checked. It is a perfectly normal nose. But Tory Lanez isn't his name. It's Daystar Peterson. His first name is Daystar. That's a pretty cool name. Why would you change it? It's like Iggy Azalea. Iggy. Her real name is Amethyst. That's a beautiful name. Amethyst. It's like Shallon, I think, is a really cool name. I've always liked my name. But if I was like, oh, my real name's Shallon Lester, but on YouTube, I go by Marjorie Butterworth. Do you? Yes, that's who I am. Marjorie Butterworth. Why? Can you respect me? You're racist. I'm Marjorie Butterworth. Like, Tory is not a very masculine name. I've never heard a man named Tory. I don't know. I guess they're out there. Troy. Or is that his name? Is his name been Troy this whole time? I am dyslexic, actually, so it might be. No, it's Tory. Okay. You never know with me. Like, why would you change your name? Just go by Daystar. That's a badass name. I don't get it. Like, you get why Drake changed his name. It's Aubrey. Why not just Jennifer or Kimberly? Like, Drake is so soft. You know that he's like, because Hollywood is basically a high school. You know, every little microcosm, whether it's your office, your summer camp, your classroom, your sorority, whatever, it all is a microcosm of larger things. So it's like, people think Hollywood, oh, everyone in there is cool. Everyone loves everyone. No, they fucking don't. Like, there's the mean girls, you know, the Nicki Minaj's, the Reese Witherspoons. There's the dorks, like, Drake, he's just such a goober, like well-meaning enough, but a goobs. And then there's like the queen bee, you know, Rihanna, of course. Oh gosh. So he's just such a goobs. Anyway, so what's going on with Megan and Tory Butterworth is obviously, if you guys have heard about this, apparently he shot her in the foot. So this happened after a barbecue one summer, I think in 2020, at Kylie Jenner's house. And him, Megan, and two other people were in an SUV, I guess leaving. And Megan and Tory got in a fight. And she's like, fuck this, I'm out. And she leaves the car. And he allegedly pulls out a gun and is like, dance, bitch, boom, 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 boom. You know, like Old West style. Don't come for Western culture. That's my culture. Please don't. You're being a cultural appropriator. That's what we do in Montana. We don't know. And shot her in the foot. Now, a lot of you guys pointed out that you think all this unfollowing, this sort of internal cancellation of Megan is because her story about Tory isn't adding up. And by her own admission, Megan admits her story has shifted. Like at first, she didn't want to call the police. It's all very muddled, and I know I'm getting some of this wrong. But she was saying that, oh, she hadn't wanted to call the police because cops are just shooting black people left and right. Well, he's shooting people left and right. He's an armed person shooting at a defenseless woman. Who the fuck? I mean, maybe the cop should like intervene there. I don't think it's unreasonable to be like, the cop should go in when an armed man is shooting at a woman with guns drawn. And that to me, I'm like, really? That's why? But then we all know women are conditioned to be quiet. We have all made excuses for people who have traumatized and abused us, haven't we? So in that sense, I don't think what she's saying is completely out of whack, that she would be trying to cover for him. Clearly they were friends or like something, you know, and would you call the cops just like that on your friend? And when they were drunk and made a mistake? I don't know. But if they shot me, it's murky. It's very murky. And that seems to be what everyone else is starting to think. Like, well, what is going on? Because Megan at first had refused to name who shot her, and she had to get surgery. And then she said on an Instagram live, like, yeah, it was Tory. And then Tory, you know, came back in a song. He's like, how is it that you get shot in the foot? And I'm paraphrasing his lyrics because these probably shouldn't be lyrics in a song because they're just not very metaphorical or poetic. He's a metaphor. He's like, how do you get shot in the foot and it misses all the bones and tendons? I mean, that's a good point. You have the most bones in your feet than you do anywhere else, or is it your hands? I think it's your feet. That's a good point. I think maybe the bullet ricocheted. You know, you can have it just like skim off you, and it can tear the skin off. Obviously, a bullet can do a lot of damage. But there were some rumors that maybe her injury was caused by broken glass. I don't know. The whole thing just seems to be messy. And now the cops have charged him with not just concealing a weapon, but assault with a weapon. He is looking at 22 years in prison. And the reason is because he's already on probation. So he was apparently trying to pay Megan hush money to keep her quiet because he's on probation. That's really bad. So essentially, she probably felt, if he did in fact shoot her, that she was holding this man's life in her hands. That's heavy when you're the victim. You know? And you know this person and you liked them until 10 minutes ago. So now I want to touch on pigeons and eagles. Megan, you are a college graduate. You have a degree in old people sciences or whatever it is. She does. It's like Bachelor of Arts in old peopleness and like early bird specials and broken hips. I don't know. She wants to open an old person's home, which I think is adorable. Love this. So cute. I'm so proud of her. Why the fuck are you associating with a thug? I'm sorry. This is not a racial thing. This is a classist thing. I'm not a racist. I'm a classist. And I see people of all walks of life who are eagles, and they're down here with pigeons. A guy who's carrying a gun in the car, drunk, waving it around, shooting it at a woman after you just had a barbecue at a billionaire's house, Kylie Jenner's house. Bro, you're a pigeon. You're a pigeon. Why do you have a gun on? Why are you bringing a gun to Kylie Jenner's house? Why are you bringing a gun anywhere? Can't you afford a bodyguard? I can't. That's why I bring guns a lot of places. I also live in Montana. My guns are perfectly legal. I obey the law. We are squared away, okay? Tory was on probation. You have an unregistered, unlicensed gun on you? Do you love prison? It kind of seems like you might. Whatever. Your mess is your mess, Tory. Megan, why do we as women work so hard to better ourselves, to improve ourselves, to be the best we can be, and then we just dial it all the way fucking down based on our company? Why do we do that? Why do we do that? I don't know. Did you guys see the TikTok recently? It was a guy. It was so funny. It was this guy being like, girls with a bachelor degree are crying about a guy with a job in a warehouse. And this black chick cuts in. She's like, first of all, he didn't have a job. Okay? So mind your business. I'm like, I've never felt so seen. This is exactly what it is. It's like women who are just like so incredibly accomplished. It's like, he didn't even have a job, actually. Cinnabon at the airport, a bridge too far, a peak too high. And we wonder why we are miserable and we don't feel good. I mean, Megan had to realize this in such a visceral way. It's like she literally shot herself in the foot. The metaphors, the symbolism. Why are you associating with someone like that? He can be a nice person. Maybe he's interesting. You keep people like that at an arm's length. Pigeons and eagles. One scrounges around the gutter, eating cigarette butts off the ground and getting kicked by tourists, mangy and rabid. And the other one is the symbol of our nation's freedom and is printed on the money. They are not meant to mix. They might be the same species. They are not the same. So which are you? Are you down in the gutter? I'm an eagle. I'm supposed to be catching king salmon out of a bear's mouth. But here I am. Ooh, is that a rotisserie chicken carcass? No, bitch. But we do that to ourselves all the time. I see eagle pigeon women everywhere. I've been an eagle pigeon. And it's depressing as fuck. Eagles are a little bit more solitary. They don't fly in packs. They don't need to. They're good on their own. They're meant for space. They're meant to be admired. They're meant to be rare. Pigeons are everywhere. They have to be together because no one else wants to be around them. So it hurts me that Megan's pigeon mentality has blown up in her face. Now look, it could be blowing up in her face because she's lying. Because it kind of seems, and what a lot of people are saying on Twitter, is even Fortnite removed her song from the game. What? I don't even know what Fortnite is. Is that a type of porn? Okay. I don't know. Apparently, people are saying there's something that has not come out yet. That's like the receipt of all receipts, the smoking gun, if you will, pun not intended, that absolves Tory of whatever this is. People are saying maybe there's a video or whatever. I feel like Megan would know if someone was like filming it, right? I feel like that would be obvious. There are only 4 people in the car. How big of a car is it? Who knows? But what seems to be apparent is you lie with dogs, you rise with fleas. And I'm not saying Tory is a dog. I'm saying he is messy and he has got so much potential. He's cute. He looks kind of like Chris Brown crossed with Travis Scott. Another man who changed his name for no real reason. Jacques Webster. Jacques is a cool name for a rapper. It's very unusual. Jacques. But you're like, no, I'm going by Kevin Doyle. That is a Travis Scott name to me. Drew Marks. John McTwitches. These people are creatives. They write things for a living. You couldn't write a better name for yourself? Do I have to do everything around here? My God. Marjorie Butterworth is sounding better and better, I gotta tell you. Anyway. he's messy, you know, and it always just is so tragic to me when you see people who like make it out of a ghetto or a bad circumstance, and it's like they continue that ghetto behavior. And again, this isn't racist. Like I'm a country music fan. I see this in country music all the time, like all the time, you know? It's like you're a redneck no matter what. You can take the girl out of the trailer, as they say. And it breaks your heart. And we see this with people with addictions. It's something called a dry drunk. And I know because I had a drug addict boyfriend, like before he knew me, but he would create the same chaos that drugs imported into his life, just without the drugs. Oh, drugs made him like violent and cheating. Well, turns out he didn't even need the drugs for that. He would still start bar fights and fuck everyone he could get his hands on. You know, and it's like you see that in these people, even in celebrities. Like if we do it on the micro, they do it too. They're not better than us, and God knows they're not smarter. They're so much dimmer because they're being yay-sayed in the worst ways by yes men and hangers on and toxic fans and all of this stuff. Like they're not really that self-aware. But I digress. Let's veer off the Tory Lanez lane. Let's talk about ASAP and Rihanna. Because don't you guys really want to know what I meant when I said a man is most likely to cheat when his girl is pregnant? Are you really hoping I'm wrong about this? I'm not. First of all, I remember reading a study about it. I remember I've encountered this information multiple times during my career. First back in college, I remember reading a study on it. It was like horrifying because we were like, no. And they were like, oh my God. And I have also seen it in my personal life a lot. Fortunately, I don't know if my friends got cheated on when they were pregnant, but my two friends who are like basically career mistresses, that's when their men have cheated on their wives and like taken up with my friends when the girls were pregnant or like just having given birth. Like days. Yeah. Look at Tristan Thompson. He really went balls out, literally, when, you know, third trimester Thompson. Isn't that the chant that they say at games? He cheated on Jordy Craig when she was pregnant. He cheated on Chloe when she was pregnant. I mean, even this mistress, he was like, couldn't even be faithful to a mistress. Oh, yeah. Why is this? Why? Because think about how true it is. A woman becomes a mother the minute she finds out she's pregnant, right? She's now the vessel for this new life, and she's not drinking and eating sushi and she's nesting, She's already in mom mode. A man, as they say, doesn't really become a father until the baby is born. That is 9-10 months where two people in the same house, many times, are on completely different pages. Completely. Well, they're both excited about having the baby. Yeah, but one of them is already there, right? One of them is already in mom mode. And that means one of their priorities has completely shifted. And it shifted away from their partner. I mean, how could it not? I remember Louis C.K. did this bit. He's like, you know, when I got married, like my wife, she was my everything and I love her, And the second my daughter was born, I looked at my wife and was like, who the fuck are you? And it's true. It's like this little thing. And it's like, who are you? Like, you're just this person. This is my baby. Okay. But a woman gets there 9 months before the man does. Right? She's gestating this baby. Her body is changing everything. And the guy's like, what about me? And she's like, what the fuck about you? What about you, dude? Kevin Butterworth. What about you? And that leads a man to feel very left out in the cold. And not wanting to. And I've talked to guys about this. And when I posted this on Instagram, I got a lot of responses from my guy friends and even like exes and stuff. And they're like, that's horrifying. Like, I would love my woman so much, not more, but yeah, more if she's pregnant and just want to protect her and so beautiful. I'm like, that's true. But how would you feel if she didn't want to have sex for 10 months? And all she talked about was this other little baby. And they're like, she wouldn't want to have sex? I mean, she might not. Her body's changing. There's a parasite in there swimming around, feeding off its host. Would you want to have sex? I mean, that's reasonable. Oh. There's also the element that a man sees pregnancy as the death of his own childhood, the death of his own youth. I remember this quote one time from Diane Keaton, of all people, and she didn't adopt her children, I think, until she was like in her 50s. She adopted 2 kids. And someone asked her like why she waited so long, or like why, maybe it was before. Anyway, she said, "I'm having too much fun being a daughter. I'm not ready to be a mother." And I was like, that just hit me, because I'm an only child. I'm super close with my mom. And like in my mind, like if I got pregnant now, I'm like, I'm a child bride. I'm a teen mom. Like I'm the same way. Like I'm still really enjoying being a kid, you know? But when you're a parent, like that ends. It's passed on, and you get to relive your childhood through the eyes of your own child, for sure. And I think that's very comforting in a lot of ways to parents. But for me, like that's no. And like I said, I'm kind of like a dude. Like I get this. I get this. It's not great, but I do understand it. And, you know, that's a lot for a man to process, because the death of that youth, not childhood, but like youth spirit, the death of the untamed male, they want to go out and hunt a few more last times, you know? The hunting is over, and it's really, really, really over when you have a baby to take care of. So there's that last push of the hunter predator mentality. Not great. And you know, it's funny. I've told you guys that like still guys who are taken have an incredible predilection for me. Like I am just like catnip to them. I don't fuck with dudes who have girlfriends, certainly not wives, because it's just, as Blanche Devereaux said, well, I'm no fool. Man always feels so guilty. He ends up giving the really good jewelry to the wife. And it's true. It's true. Like being a mistress is actually not as fruitful as you think at all. And it's just gross. And I mean, good for you if you're fine with it. I'm not. I don't like it. But guys are so drawn to me when they are in a relationship. And they always come out of the woodwork for me right before something big happens, right before their girlfriend has a baby, right before they get engaged, right before their wedding, because it's this last, like, my freedom. And I am like the embodiment of freedom to guys. I'm always traveling. I'm like footloose and fancy free. I look fucking bomb like I did when I was 18. Actually, better than I did when I was 18. The eyebrows. Where were they? Nobody knows. So I am just so like attractive to them in that sense. And that's what we have to be on the lookout for. That's just so telling psychologically. You know, guys don't cheat when they're in that emotional state with like a girl in a cardigan, like comfortable Anne. They don't cheat with comfortable Anne. They cheat with jet set Shallon, you know? They do. And I mean, not me specifically, but you know what I mean. And so that's very telling based on their psychology. So it's important that we understand where people are coming from so that we can dismantle this, or at least have an idea to fight it, or at the very, very, very least, stop internalizing these cheaters as a reflection of our own deficiency, because we're not deficient. You could be the coolest, funnest, sexiest, badass pregnant woman in the world, aka Rihanna, and a man who feels trapped, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how pretty that cage is. He has to get out. And if you look at Megan Thee Stallion, I mean, she's like, she's fun, she's hot, she's sexy, she's here, she's there. And again, I hope that this is like not the case that he cheated. And who knows if it is. This is all just like hypothetical. Like this is just sort of a case study in what it would be like. So, you know, I'm not believing anything until there's a little more sourcing on that, because I don't want to. Emotionally, I can't handle it. But it is interesting to look at the psychology of why men do it. And like I said, you kind of get it. You don't condone it, but we can't change what we don't acknowledge, neither in ourselves nor in anyone else. It is true that a man can respect and want to protect his pregnant wife and be like, oh, she's the vessel of my heirs, but I still need attention. You can love and adore someone and not have your needs be met. And this is especially true for men. And this is how men are like emotionally able to cheat with the veracity that they do. Because sex and respect, not the same thing. Not the same thing. Attention, respect, not the same thing. I always go back to the Tiger Woods example. Remember, like his Amazonian Swedish goddess of a wife. Beautiful. Devoted to their kids, devoted to him. And he fucked literally porn stars who were missing teeth. And it was like, what is happening? And I'm sure he said to her, I adore you. I adore my wife. I love you. I love our family. And I don't think he was lying. You know, I think he did. But he had needs that were unmet. And I'm not saying that was her fault. Not at all. But like his needs were what they were. And he was just fucking those girls, you know, like I was just fucking him. I'm going to get right back. What do you think? I'm going to leave you and like date this toothless, methed out porn star? Like, no, like I love you. You're my wife. Like you're my wife. But I'm still going to fuck other people. Like they're not the same. I know. It makes sense to me because I have so much masculine energy. Like inside I am a frat guy. Thank God I'm not a man. I would do the Wall Street jackhammer in bed. I would. I like it. So I do it. It's my love language. Terrible sex is my love language. But like, I get what guys mean, because in the past, like when I have been a bad girl and cheated, it wasn't because I hated my boyfriend. If I hated him, I would have just dumped him. No, I loved him. I loved him. It's like, he was fantastic. He was great, but my needs weren't getting met and I needed them to be met. That's just the way it was. And it's like, okay, well, I can leave this guy, or I can take a chance and be a bag of shit and cheat and see how that goes. Let's ride this till the wheels fall off, you know? So I understand in a way why men cheat when women are pregnant. Like looking at it neutrally, like I get it, you know? He's persona non grata in the house. Now he's this functional thing. Did you put the crib together? Rub my feet. A woman's priorities have completely shifted. He's no longer the apple of her eye. He's no longer the king of the castle in a way. And so he goes out and meets someone new who's like, you've been to Burning Man? Oh my God. All the stories are new. He's funny. She's not requiring anything of him just yet, you know? It's like, gee, would I rather go out and fuck this chick or go to the Container Store? We can vilify these people all we want, and we should. But until we can try to understand them, we're never going to beat them or dismantle them or solve these problems, you know? And that is the unfortunate part. And I just think we're living in a society in all senses. We can't talk about racism. We can't talk about why that swimmer, that female, she's not a woman, she's a dude, that swimmer is smashing records, because then it's transphobia. Well, okay, if we can't talk about any of this stuff, then you just have like this oppressive society. And that just breeds, you think that brings people closer together? No. The silence creates the divide. That's what it does. And eventually the silent don't want to stay silent anymore. And they rise up and it becomes very, very messy. So same in our interpersonal relationships. If you don't want to hear what a man needs and his feelings, even if you don't agree with them, even if they seem stupid, if you are not creating an environment where he feels empowered to be heard as you want created, it's a give and a take, baby. Then the silent will be heard. The psyche will be heard. And the psyche will do it the easy way or the hard way. The easy way, what do you need? Are your needs getting met? How are you feeling? How can I plug into you as my partner? Yeah, we've got a baby coming, but you're still my number one. What's going on? And this is baby or no baby. And look, I'm not saying it's your fault that a guy cheats on you. I have been cheated on a lot. And I was a great girlfriend, super plugged in, whatever. And I believe I create an environment where I am very open to hearing people's needs. I talk all goddamn day about stuff like this. Like, of course I want to hear how to make someone I love happy. You know, we can only create an environment. We can't lead that horse to water and make it drink. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying you're the reason that someone's cheated on you, but we all owe it to ourselves to look at our role in our outcomes. Is my side of the street clean? As they say, you know, am I doing everything possible to create an environment where my partner does feel heard, where I am meeting their needs to the best of my abilities and acknowledging that, hey, maybe I can only meet 80%. What is the 20% they're not getting? If that's anal sex, it's actually not acceptable for me. You know, I'm not going to sit here while you go out and like bang chicks up the butt. Or maybe you are okay with it. Better them than me. But you can't know until you have these kinds of conversations, you know? And again, we're not the kind of girls and gays who entrench ourselves into a victim narrative. And that's so easy when you get cheated on, or when you think about cheaters. You know, who would cheat on Rihanna? Who would cheat on Giselle? Who would cheat on Beyonce? Jennifer Garner? All these women have been cheated on. Who the fuck would cheat on me? It happens. And while we deserve a righteous amount of wallowing, of course, and victimhood, because we are the victims of this, when that wallowing period is over, what we want to do is pull back and say, how could I, into my next relationship, not this one, because fuck him, in my next relationships, how can I talk more openly about needs and getting those needs met? Because maybe there was a need that my partner wasn't getting, and it actually would have been pretty easy for me to fulfill. Maybe he had a real problem with me going out Fridays and Saturdays, and you know what? I didn't really want to go out either. But I thought he'd be bored just sitting on the couch, but turns out he wanted that quality time. I just didn't know that. Okay, now we're getting someplace. Or it could be you were dating a garbage person and there was nothing you could have done, but again, data. It's all about data. It's all about getting curious and not furious. So the question I asked you guys on my Instagram, when I was like, what's the topic? A lot of you guys said how to cheat proof your relationship. How can you prevent cheating? You know what? Hoe's gonna hoe. You can't turn a hoe into a housewife. If a guy is just hardwired to cheat and to create that dry, drunk chaos, that if he's an eagle who insists on being a pigeon, there's nothing you can do. You could have a velvet-lined vagina. It doesn't matter, Giselle, Beyonce, me, Jennifer Lopez, Rihanna, potentially. Okay. But we know that there's two reasons why people cheat. We've talked about this before. To feel alive, that's a stimulation, to feel alive, I'm renewed again. And to have the exploration of different sides of their personality. So the way we can cheat-proof our relationship, encourage our partner to feel alive, do things that are stimulating to them. There's this obvious impulse when we want to keep a man faithful to just keep him under lock and key. And boy, oh boy, will that backfire. That's the opposite of what you want to do. No one likes to be held down. No one wants an emotional parole officer. And guess what? It's a really unsexy dynamic for you to become just that. It's the infantilization of your boyfriend and your partner. It's a parent-child dynamic. Who wants to fuck their parents? Okay? Disgusting. You don't want to set that up. You instead want to encourage this man to be his best self. You love to play volleyball? Lame. Go do, that's amazing. Good for you. Go out there, feel alive. Go for that promotion. Get yourself in shape. Let's buy a Vitamix, whatever it is. And to explore different sides of the personality, whether that's sexually, whether that's career-wise for him, even sartorially. Encourage him to dress different, listen to different music, cook different foods, travel within your own relationship and get those needs met as much as you can, And it's like, I know what you're thinking. Oh, so the burden is on me to keep him from straying. No, the burden is on you, however, to create a healthy relationship. It's just as much on you as it is on him. Right? Keep your side of the street clean. If you're plugging in and doing all of these things and he's still out there horning around, it's so much easier to move on. It really is. Because it's like, you know what? I gave you everything. I was a great girlfriend. This is actually not my fault. But if you have lived in this relationship, you've let yourself go, you don't take care of yourself, you have no real goals or dreams, you just want to be supported, you have no friends, and a guy steps out, because I talk to you girls in that position all day long, you're not just mad at him, you're mad at yourself. Because you know this isn't you. And if we're being honest, you wouldn't want to date you either. Be the person you want to date. It's important for you to go out and to explore different sides of your personality and to feel alive. Because when both of you are doing that, when both of you are your best selves, the sparks fly. Because what does that do? That takes you back to courtship. That's when everything was new. You're discovering everything about each other. That's when lust is at its highest, when novelty is at its highest, when mystery is at its highest, and when repetition and boredom and staleness doesn't even exist yet. And the way you can keep infusing that into a relationship, keep infusing it into your life and into yourself. Because look, best case scenario, you're going to have a badass relationship. Worst case, he's still a piece of shit that's going to cheat on you. But you know what? You're going to look around your life, be like, I have amazing friends. I travel. I'm so much fun. I'm diverse. I have a job that fulfills me. I'm in shape. I take care of myself. Bye. It's so much easier to walk away and to not get stuck in that place of why? Why did this happen? What's wrong with me? I deserve this. The story that you apply to it. You don't want to do that. And if you're pregnant, keep infusing that. Try to make this as much of a collaborative thing and not just like, you didn't do this right, girl. The hormones, I can't, ugh. I don't even think I should offer tips on this because pregnancy is absolutely medieval. I don't know how you guys endure it. I'm so impressed. People who like say they love being pregnant clearly love progesterone. That's like the pregnancy hormone that floods your body. When I'm on my progesterone week, because you have a week of a lot of progesterone in your menstrual monthly cycle, I'm a monster. I'm a monster. I'm just this, you think I'm bad? Usually I'm like a dragon sitting on its eggs. Horrible fire-breathing creature. I want to know your thoughts on this. What do you think is going on beneath the surface? Do you think something's going to come out about Tory Butterworth? Do you think Megan has been lying this whole time? What do you think? What do you think? And if you were going to come up with an alternative famous person name, what would it be? Let's get really crazy. Let's just go for it. I hope it's something like Susan Patterson. I really hope it's just like the queen of mediocrity. I love it. Don't forget to join me in Mexico. Click the link in bio to shop. And like I said, shop my revenge necklace, ruthless necklace, and those badass XO hoops. We'll see you later, Shalligators.